at that point, you're not there to play it safe. Like if you're not taking risks, you're not competing.
It's empowering, you know. I mean, anybody who's done a CrossFit workout, you finish a CrossFit workout and you're like, I'm on top of the world.
Yeah.
Like a hunger for competition and like that super intense structure, routine. I still had that desire.
Listen to the way people feel and the motivations for doing the things that they did. It was like they were describing me to a T.
I'm not trying to solve everything for you, but I know that sometimes you just need somebody to listen.
Learned the most is how to fill my cup by filling others.
Welcome to the Hungry Dog Barbell Podcast. Join me as I talk with passionate people about their life's failures and successes, and most importantly, what keeps them hungry for more. So I wanted to ask you about, you made the transition from team sport young, individual for a while, and then back to team sport like in high school. Like, how was that transition period? How did you obviously you're a great team player now, but how did you like being a team player then?
Yeah, so it's interesting. Like I had the luxury of playing kind of both at the same time when I was in high school. Like when I was on a volleyball team, you really couldn't win alone, right? Like you had to be a good teammate. You had to live by the values that helped your team be successful. But at the same time, like running track, that's on you. Like that's
Yeah.
it. It's just you and whatever you're doing. So I was a sprinter. I also was probably my main event was high jump, and I did everything from a 400 and down with or without hurdles. So it was like
Oof.
me versus me. I know 400 hurdles is the worst, but yeah. So one of the things and one of the reasons why I had opportunities to also run track in college, and one of the reasons why I chose volleyball really was for that team aspect, that family. I just fell in love with having to learn how to be reliable and rely on other people. Even though the effort, right, was collective in track, it still kind of had that feel. It's just a little bit different. And I think
Yeah.
that's kind of why I leaned so much into that team aspect, because I realized like time inside organized sport is fleeting, right? Like only 1% of athletes move on to play in college. So I think I really wanted that family while I could still have it.
Yeah. That's so cool. Like the way you put it too, like you enjoyed the feeling of like having to be relied on and relying on other people. Like when you get out of team aspects for a while, that's something that for me personally, like I miss, right? I miss
Mm-hmm.
being in a team. I miss working with other people and like knowing that if I like let up, this person's going to be let down,
Yeah.
that always hurts me like a lot, like to let my team members down.
Yeah. It's hard.
So then you keep going on, you're playing sports, you're playing college. Like when do you get on the wavelength of I want to be a physical therapist and help other people?
Yeah, I was very lucky in the way that when I was, this is going to sound really odd. So I was lucky to get hurt. I don't like saying it like that, but when I was
Yeah.
a junior in high school, so I started playing varsity athletics in 8th grade, and it was not really ever the plan for me. Like I was never that kid that when I started playing sports, I was like, I'm going to go D1. I'm going to go to the highest level. I just kind of like worked hard and just kind of listened to my coaches and my people around me and just rode the wave,
Yeah.
if you will. And I was scheduled out to like AM to PM every
Ooh.
minute. I was like a robot. I mean, I was just, and not in the way that kids specialize now. It was just like morning practice, school, evening practice, homework, go to bed. Like it was just, I loved every minute of it. But I think I didn't really realize how much I needed to treat my body well until when I was a junior in high school. I was at a club tournament for volleyball. I was being scouted by some very high level schools, Syracuse, UNC, Cornell was looking at me, and I was really bringing it. And I sprained my ankle so badly. Like,
Oh,
I mean, like a gym fail video ankle
yeah.
sprain.
What part of the year was it?
Say again.
What part of the year was it? Like
It
fall?
was in the wintertime. So
Oof.
club volleyball is in the wintertime.
Yeah.
And we were up in Rochester, New York. So we were 5 hours from home.
Oh,
And it was in that moment that I was like, ooh, this isn't going to be a walk it off
yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
And that was when I was first exposed to physical therapy. So
Oof.
I came home, I had my first visit with my PT, and did whatever they said. Because I was like, whatever you say, I'm going to do to get back on that volleyball court. And Within 5 weeks, actually, I was able to participate in practice, and then within that, like, 6 to 8 week timeline, I started return to play, and I was like, "Ooh, I think I wanna help other people do that, like, I wanna know more about this," and helped a lot of my teammates also find physical therapy. Kind of through exposure, I realized that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Damn. When that first happened to you and you were in the middle of PT, were you like trying to rush back or were you like so locked in on the plan that you just listened to the timeline and everything?
So, I think as a young athlete, as a human, like, everyone wants to rush back, right?
Right. I'm
Everybody wants.
indestructible.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to be better yesterday.
Right.
And so I think through a lot of time and education from my original physical therapist, his name was Rick, PT Rick. Thank you. Thanks,
PT
buddy.
Rick.
Yeah, my homie. But he kind of was like, listen, like your body's on its own timeline. We got to respect it. We got to do what we got to do. And through education, it made me realize, like, okay, we got to wait. Like, I got to be able to walk before I can run. I got to be able to do that before I can, right? So I think even now, as a physical therapist myself, something that I spend a ton of time on in the clinic is just managing patient expectation, right?
Mm.
Like making sure that you have a timeline as a patient. You understand why these simple things are so important, waiting, recovery, right? So I think even from the very beginning at my first exposure in PT, my expectations were managed properly.
Yeah.
And so that's what allowed me to give myself the time to heal.
Yeah. So I'm going to assume going to physical therapy that you did some weight room stuff, right? Was that your first exposure to the weight room and lifting weights? Like, or did you have something before that?
No,
Yes, let's
no.
go.
It's a funny question, right? So, especially being a part of the track program that I was a part of, like there's still girls that I ran with. So I graduated high school in 2009. There's girls that I ran with that still hold national records in the mile, in the 2 mile, right? Like they were at that level,
What?
and we did not ever see the weight room except to go in there and do abs.
Love
This
doing
is a
abs,
real story. What is that gonna do? Like,
especially for a volleyball player and a track athlete, two power sports.
oh
Abs
my
are
god.
definitely the way to go.
Oh, like what?
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, my first exposure to lifting weights was a 18-year-old kid, just graduated high school, and I got an email that came into my inbox from a strength coach at Quinnipiac that said summer program.
Mm.
And in it, there were two abbreviations that I had no idea what it was, DB and BB, dumbbell and barbell. And I was like, I have no idea what this is.
Oh my God.
And so I went to one of the local gyms in town and I just kind of like stumbled my way through my program. And luckily, some of the football players in my town trained there in the summertime. And I was like, will you help me with this? And they're like, yeah. So I learned how to do deadlifts and some squatting and goblet squats. And I learned what a split squat was.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was my first exposure, like, going into my freshman year of college was my first exposure to any kind of weightlifting really at all.
Wow. So how does that like journey go? Like, obviously you love lifting and exercise and helping people be better now. Like, how do you start to develop that after that first summer?
Yeah, so, I when I got to Quinnipiac, like, I always thrived in a practice athlete. I've always said, like, I love the work. I've always
Yeah.
loved skill work in, like, my original sports, and now, obviously, all weightlifting is skill work,
Yeah.
right? So I loved going to the weight room. Like even if it was 5 o'clock in the morning, like I was like, teach me how to do this. I want to learn this. Front squats, pull-ups, back squats, jumping, plyo work, plyo programs. Like I had not really known any of that. Um, and the way that it worked at Quinnipiac, we had individual team programming, but a lot of it was gender-based and then kind of a generalized sports program. So
Mm.
the volleyball team also worked together with tennis and a couple of other like rotational sports. So I kind of like blew through that program. And then the strength coaches were like, okay, we need to get you on this. So then I was training on the men's hockey program. And
Let's
yeah,
go.
I wanted to lift more, pull more, trap art out, whatever. Like I always wanted to improve. And luckily I was like learning how to be strong and that's kind of the beginning of the beginning and walked my way through that and just kept it rolling.
Wow. Like, tell me some of your like first milestones and like just memories from the gym that you're like, wow, I can't believe I just did that.
Yeah, so when I first front squatted, like so So this is a cool story. I played volleyball with Ray Allen's daughter, like Ray Allen from the NBA.
Let's
Okay.
go.
So yeah, so Tiara was an uber athlete. I mean, she probably still is, but came in like peak performance. Like she's 6 feet tall, she's strong as hell. She played basketball, she played volleyball, dynamic, super strong, and basically came in as a freshman and just like ran us all over. Like she was pulling more than anybody, squatting more than anybody. She could do all of her like dynamic body work, right? Because like she worked with her dad. Like he was like,
Yeah.
we're gonna get you recruited for whatever sport you want, and you're gonna be as strong as possible. So I kind of just like stepped in with her, and my first front squat over 200 pounds was like a huge deal, right? Like me and T were just repping like 205, and that was super, super cool
That's
because
so
it was
fire.
just, I don't know, you need that person to kind of push you and make you realize that you could do more.
Yeah.
I think I might have also had a little chip on my shoulder, like, all right, young buck, like stand down. Like, I got it. Don't like, okay, okay. Like I was a
Yeah.
senior. And as a senior, like you don't want a freshman coming in here and stepping to you and telling you what to do. Like I was like,
Right.
but, so I was very grateful to kind of have someone alongside me to kind of push me that extra bit, you know?
Right.
That was, like, really, really cool, and we did the same thing, like, we went for front squat, went to the track bar, we went to like, "How much can you Bulgarian split squat?" Like, "How much," and that was it
Oh
for us, like,
my
we were
God.
like, "Oh, yeah," but, like, it was just one of those things, like, vert testing, broad jumping, all of that stuff, like, when that athlete came in, like, she pushed me so much, and I'm so grateful because as a senior, you kinda start, like, you dial it back a little bit. You're like,
Right.
"I
You're
made
easing your
it.
way out. Like
I'm
I did it.
here." I'm
Yeah.
also, like, 22 years old and my legs hurt more than ever, So it was cool to have that person by my side and, like, to help me get better.
Right. Iron sharpens iron, dogs need other dogs around
Absolutely.
them. That's so
Absolutely. I
cool.
think we actually have this is my husband's office. He has that on the wall, this circle.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
It
Let's
literally
go.
says, "Iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." That's our values, that's our how we live our life. Yeah.
I mean, it's the way to live.
Yeah.
Like you'll get so stagnant if like you're just the top person in a room all the
Yeah,
time, and
for
the only
sure.
person more than just being like the highest performer or like the most skilled. Like if you are the only person in the room that wants to work and get better, you're going to stagnate.
Yes.
Motivation alone is definitely not everything. You got to have that other person with you that's like, yo, I'm ready for one more,
Yes.
it's for you to keep
Yes.
going. So
Absolutely.
tell me now, what was the first time you ever saw an Olympic weightlifting meet?
Yeah, so when I was done with college, so my first exposure really to like a meet at all, I had come home from school. I was done with my undergrad and physical therapy school. I did 6 years of college. I stayed in college for a long time. I was like, I'm not ready for life, right? So I was at Quinnipiac for 6 years. After volleyball, I started doing CrossFit because I wanted to stay healthy and I also wanted something to win.
Right.
And I came home and started CrossFitting at home because I loved the community, still moving barbells, all that kind of stuff. And my CrossFit gym was also a barbell club.
Let's go.
And so the owner of the gym was like, hosting level ones, educating people on weightlifting. And then he was like, I want to host a weightlifting meet.
Yeah.
And I said, I want to do that. And he was like, pump the brakes. Like, you need to train a little bit before you do that. So, which was valid. I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
cool. Because I had never just trained weightlifting alone. It was always just through CrossFit.
Through Metcons, workouts, all that stuff. Yeah.
Totally. And even if you have good programming that has strength training in it, I mean, how often are you actually snatching and clean and jerking? Like, not often.
Right.
So he's like, "Come to the meet, help out, check it out. If you like it, we'll get you training for at least like 3 to 4 months before we put you on a platform." So that was I wanna say it was like early in 2016, like maybe it was like the January, spring of 2016.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I loved it. It was super cool. And we hosted another meet in November of 2016 and I was able to compete and that was my first meet ever.
Before the bigger conversation about your meet, tell me about you seeing the meet for the first time. Like, were you just outside, like as a spectator watching? Did you get to go in the back and see kind of like how that went down? Like, what memories do you have from that?
Yeah, so my boldest, like, most memorable portion of that first meet that I ever saw was, like again, keep in mind, this was 10 years ago, weightlifting was a little bit a different world 10 years ago.
Yeah.
it was like a library. I was
Uh,
like, "Is this like a viewing? Like, am I in a funeral home? Like,
with
what's
golf
happening?"
claps. Yeah.
Dude, I'm like, because I came from CrossFit, like CrossFit
Yeah.
competitions, and I don't know if you've ever really watched volleyball, but like volleyball is not a quiet sport. Like
No,
there's a
no.
lot of communication and a lot, right?
Yeah.
So, I walked in and I was like, "Am I in the right place? Like what?" And there was just barbells moving and people sitting very quiet and solemnly, and I was like, "Ugh, this is not for me."
Yeah.
And then when I saw the elation that came out of people making lifts on the platform, I was like,
Changed my
"Hmm,
mind.
all right, I'm warming to this."
Right.
The cool part about the gym that I saw my first meet in is, like, even though it was a CrossFit space and a barbell club, it was an open space. So you
Mm.
could see the back room kind of moving and what athletes and coaches were doing as well as the platform at the same time. So as an outsider, you're like, "Oh, there's, like, a lot to this." You can
Yeah.
kinda you could kinda glean what people were doing even if you didn't really know what the heck was going on.
Right.
So yeah, I wanted to learn more about it, and I was also helping out at the table, which was wild. I was like, there's cards and so it was a lot to take in, but a lot that I wanted to learn.
Yeah, and 2016, I mean, that's in the modern era, but did they have things like the apps and the TVs projecting the weights? And so it was raw dog, OG style cards. Coach, you come up to find out. Look at
Bro,
the bar. I love that.
yes. Yeah. So, we were very lucky to have, like an OG weightlifting family in our gym, the Finn family. So, Caitlin Finn is I don't remember what her married name is, but she's gonna yell at me. Kate Finn is a USAW educator. She is an
Oh,
OG. She's an OG East Coast Gold chick. So, her I graduated high school with her brother.
oh,
And her dad was actually our, speaker at the meet. So
nice.
Jerry, her dad actually competes internationally, and
Oh,
they have a whole family of weightlifters now.
yeah, yeah.
So luckily, even though it was, like, quiet and very serious because they were making sure that everything ran properly, like, if you know the spirit of the Finn family, like, it was
Yes,
awesome.
right.
If you've never heard Jerry marshal a meet, like, get your butt up to New York or New Jersey, and he is so exciting. He is really good with info on the mic and, like, keeping things going. So, luckily, even though it was, like, pencil and paper cards and yelling at loaders to do the right things, like, it was still the spirit of it was still really cool. She's a great teacher. Yeah,
So good. I know.
yeah. She did
Um,
my level 1, actually.
That's so funny. Small world,
Yeah.
especially in weightlifting,
Mhm.
there's only so many people out there that are, really upholding the standard, like, and spreading it around, but that's also
Yeah.
so now tell us about your first meet experience, the first time you lifted. How did it go? What were your big takeaways? Like, tell us.
Yeah, I mean, so the funny thing is my impression of weightlifting in the beginning was also my dad's impression of weightlifting. So my dad here, I'm gonna give my dad a plug. So his name is John Payne. Payne is my maiden name. My dad is like the ultimate sports supporter. He is like the biggest sports fan person. So he was very excited for me to have like a new venture in sport because when I graduated from college, he was like, "What are me and your mom gonna do? Like, we're gonna sit
Right.
around. You're not like you're gonna make us sit around at home. Like, what?" So he was very excited when he had something to cheer for, which was me on a platform. And he also felt like it was super quiet. So I was laughing. He was like, "What is this, a library?" I'm like, "That's what I said." So my first meet was awesome. Like I don't even remember what numbers I hit. I think I put up like 55 in snatch, which was like very exciting for me because I think anything over 50 was like very intimidating for me at the time. And then I think I might have snatched like over 65, like 68 kilos in clean and jerk.
Yeah, yeah.
So numbers wise, it was huge for me, right? But I do remember feeling very overwhelmed by the silence, like when I took a platform. It wasn't like every individual sport I had ever done, there was other individuals moving next to me while I was doing it, right? Like track,
Right.
for example. Like even in something like a high jump, like even though you're moving alone, there's still people around that are like moving, doing other things going on. So for me, stepping up on that platform and like I'm a performer. I sang my whole life. I was like a drama kid. I did shows, right? So like that was never scary for me, really. And the first time I stepped on a platform, I was like, all right,
I got
okay.
it. I get it now.
I was like, "Oh boy."
Yeah.
But yeah, we did it. We made it. Slowly but surely it's become, more and more bigger stages and more comfortable with the bigger stages. But that was
Right.
kind of like my big takeaway. I was like, "Ooh, I'm like really actually nervous."
I'm
And
here.
we were
I'm
able
here
to
alone.
perform. Yeah, yeah, it's heavy.
Yeah, it's so hard to explain to a new person like what competing in weightlifting is like because I'm sure you do too. I know so many people that are strong, strong CrossFitters, strong just regular goers. Maybe they even
Mhm.
snatch and clean and jerk a lot, and it's
Yep.
like, bro, I think you could do good at weightlifting, but you need to go see. Like
Yes.
in the hypothetical situation, right? Like it's you should never just talk about the strongest dude, the person that snatches and clean and jerks the best at your gym that's not a weightlifter. It's not a
Mhm.
given that they're going to go on the platform and reproduce the same results.
You know what I think too? It's just one of those things where, like, even platform experience makes a huge difference.
For sure.
Like, seeing it and experiencing it from the spectator side is one thing, but like, even sometimes I'll encourage my athletes, like, if they're going to see a meet for the first time and it's allowed and it's an open area, I'm like, you know what? Like, walk almost to the back of the platform. Like, see it even from the side, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want them in the back room, but I'm like, go see what it looks like to have those 3 judges looking at you and the loaders and the people. It's it's just different. It's kinda different than anything else.
100%. Like it's even now, like at the gyms that I've been to that I've done meets at before, most of those places I've been to dozens, if not hundreds of times. But the
Mhm.
angle of how things look from when you're walking behind wherever it is, from the back of the platform out onto it, it's like, and I have experience, right? But it's like no matter what, I can walk onto a meet platform right now, and you're gonna get that little bit of like heaviness, just like you said,
Oh, yeah.
sitting on you, where you're like, start to think, am I prepared? And like, usually you get to your specific scenarios like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all these things. Like, did I or did I not do this? And it's like, how do you turn that off and just go? You know?
Mhm.
So that's where the experience comes in, learning to just go perform, like you said.
Mhm.
Before we
I
keep
have to
going with
give
this, I want to
Go ahead.
backtrack real quick to track. What
Yeah.
is two questions? First,
Yeah.
what is your favorite track event? Doesn't have to be one that you performed. What is your favorite track event?
Yeah, so I'm super biased. Love pole vault.
Ooh.
So, I actually started as a pole vaulter.
Phew.
We have a very long-standing history, like, so I'm from Warwick, New York. I graduated from Warwick Valley High School, which is about 40 miles north of New York City in New York. So, we're not quite upstate, but we still have more cows than people in my town. But one of the teachers at the school became a coach in pole vault. His name is Tim St. Lawrence, and he's known nationally. Our pole vault club is called Flying Circus. And so in 8th grade, I came home and I was like, "Dad, I'm a pole vaulter." And he was like, "Says who? Like, what?" And then he looked at my mom and he's like, "Do we have to buy her a helmet? Like, what is this?" My mom ran track in college. She was a 400 hurdler for Boston College. She had a lot of experience in track, and my dad, like, never even knew what track was until I was like, "Guess what? You're gonna come watch me romp around on a track for, like, 8 seconds, even though you're gonna sit there for 4 hours all day," you know?
uh,
So my first love is in pole vault. It's such a complicated, incredible sport, but one of my teammates surpassed me significantly, so it didn't really make sense for me to continue. And that's why I went to, like, the littler pole that you jump over. So, yeah, the jumps for me are, like, the most fun, but I also loved the 100 and the 55 indoor, because I loved getting out of the blocks and just, like, running my face off.
yeah, power.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah, just
So,
straight line movement, like, "Let's go." And I'm
what do you,
tall, so, like, my coaches never
you
believed
could,
that I could sprint,
yeah,
but I was like, "You're never gonna see me be on the track for that long," so I'm like, "I gotta get real fast."
right. What is, do you think is the worst, like most painful event to do?
This is a great question. This is a long-standing kind of like debate in track, and I will give you the answer. It's 2 events. I think the pain that you experience as an athlete is equal in 400 hurdles and the 800.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
Yes.
Hurdles, obviously, because what that's put it into you, and it's
Yes.
like short enough that you can like hit it hard. That 800, oh
Yes.
my God, it's
Yeah,
brutal.
so it takes a very special person to be like, I'm an 800-meter guy or I'm an 800-meter gal. Like, that's my thing. And I'm like, you need help.
Yeah.
Like, you're not okay. Like, I'm so happy for you, but also why? Yeah, no. I think that those are the two hardest events, and I cannot give one or the other the crown in that regard.
People sleep on hurdles, bro.
Yeah,
Never
yeah,
beat me. Never beat me.
yeah. Nope.
I'm not willing to hurt like that.
My coaches put me in an 800 one time. It was in like a 4x8,
Yeah.
and they were like, "You're gonna be great at this," right? Because I
Yeah,
had
right.
long legs, and yeah. I ran so slowly because in my mind, I'm like, "This is the last 800 I'm ever gonna run in my whole life."
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, that was okay," and I was like, "No, it was not. Don't lie. I'm never doing this again." So, yeah, thank God I had great 800 runners on my team. They took up the slack, and they were like, "Yeah, I ran slower than the throwers, baby." Like, I'm like, "I'm out."
Lead me to the 55 and the 100 for
Yeah.
sure. Leave me down there. That's so nuts. So back to weightlifting, like you do the first one, successful, get a total. What's next? Like when do you transition into I'm gonna train this now and I'm gonna compete in weightlifting?
Yeah, so I loved it and I just continued to do weightlifting training. So I coached CrossFit at the time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings at 5 a.m. And then I would train at 5 a.m. on Tuesdays, Thursdays. And so I would do CrossFit and then weightlifting after. And
Mm,
so once I realized that I was not seeing kind of the improvement that I wanted with 2 time a week training, I just kind of jumped right in. I was like, I want CrossFit. I want CrossFit to be kind of like taking a little bit more of a backseat. I want weightlifting 5 days a week. So I did weightlifting 5 days and then the numbers started to increase. And I really liked kind of that like direct correlation. The input and output of weightlifting really intrigued me, right? Like you work hard, you do the right things, you're consistent, you see improvements, right? And I really liked the consistency in the training. And so that's kind of just when I started to dive in 2017, I believe, was the first time I took a national platform. Like my coach was
mm.
like, "Hey, look, there's this thing called American Open Series. You qualified for it. Do you want to go?" And I was like, "Do I want to go?" And like, I don't know. And
Right.
he said to me, he's like, "Well, Jenny Arthur is going to be there, and she's in your weight class, so you might be able to share a platform with her." And I was like, "Well, now I really want to go because."
Right.
At the time, she was kind of my anchor in the sport. I was like, wow, this is an amazing person. I had taken a seminar from her and Norick, and I
Wow.
really kind of like loved my experience with her. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, let's try. And that was my first national platform experience in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And that was it. I was like, okay, we need to do more of this.
Yeah. Phew.
I loved it. I loved my experience at a national event. I had a great time. One of my very good friends at the time did photography for me, and I just like it was deep end after that. I was like, "Let's go. I'm in."
Yeah.
Um,
Jenny Arthur. I hope everyone listening knows who that is, right?
I mean,
And
they
that
might not.
they might not. And that's her maiden name too, right? What's is
Yes.
her name?
So now her married
Vardidian?
name is Vardanian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you guys don't know who
So
that is, go look her up.
yeah. Rio, baby. She was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
She's
was our Maddie and our Olivia before we had them,
a
before we had
100%.
man.
Yeah, so she was like it was, in that Olympics, especially, like, her and Sarah Robles, they really put on quite a show in that Olympics and kind of put women's weightlifting, like USA weightlifting in a little bit closer of a spotlight. They kind of took a step for us to become much more valid and grow into what we are now. And like, dang, like the women in weightlifting are so strong now. Like you used to be able to snatch 90 and clean and jerk anywhere between 100 and 110 and
You were a
have
stud.
national team. Oh yeah, like you were stomping on people. And
Right.
now it's like, if you're not snatching over 100 kilos and clean and jerking over 130, it's like, you're not even in the conversation.
You're just good like locally. Like you're
Yeah,
one of the stronger people around where you live. It's
it's
nuts
wild.
where it's gone.
Yeah,
But that's what we all wanted, right? We want the sport to keep growing.
100%.
So tell me about now your backroom experience. How was Taylor when you were first getting into it in the back room, being coached, like being warmed up? How are you now?
So I'm like a very trusting athlete. Like I'm somebody that
God bless.
even now,
That's what we
yeah,
need.
yeah. Like, listen, I like if I am trusting a coach to run my back room or my coach believes in me, like I'm in. Like I
Yeah.
just step in. I'm like, okay, yeah, tell me what to do. I'm down. And before it was simply ignorance, right? I didn't know how to do any of it. I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to do counts, cards. I didn't know any of that stuff. So it was really easily for me to kind of sit there and be like, okay, you want me to pick this up now? Cool. You want me to pick this up out there? Cool. Like, you know what I mean? That, and even now as time has gone on, I guess I went from like that first like baby athlete that just was kind of there for the party, and my coach at the time didn't really have anyone else traveling with him for weightlifting stuff. So he was like, "Okay, it's time for you to count for me." And I was like, "What?" I just got thrown in, you know? And he's like, "All right, this is what it is right now. I just got to track it and pay attention to it." And I really
Yeah.
got thrown to the wolves. And
Did he get a total? Did you get him a total? Okay.
yes, we did. We did.
Golf clap.
We got a total. The person who I was coaching for at the time, and he'll appreciate this shout out, was Ryan Hansen. So Ryan Hansen is notorious for taking absolutely ridiculous
Jumps.
jumps on the platform. So like I, in my experience, didn't know that anybody else like didn't do that. So it was
Right.
like, okay, I want you to put in, I don't know, something ridiculous, 100 for me in snatch. And then he was like, okay, write down 137. And I'm like, okay. You know,
I
like
just
something ridiculous like that.
had a heart attack. The Widowmaker just
Yeah.
happened to
Or
me.
he'd be like, you know what? Next time, let's do 120, and the next one we'll put in 135. And I'm like, okay. Like
Yeah.
I didn't know any better, right? So I'm laughing, like clean and jerk, like we would open at 150 and then go 180 and like never, you know, like crazy stuff like that.
Uh,
He's learned a little bit. He's learned a little bit now in his older age, but yeah, crazy jumps. So as time went on and as time moved along, I realized that not everybody functions like that. And yeah, and so I just learned and moved along, and in 2019 I met Dan Dodd, and we started a barbell club called Tri-State.
Let's go.
And he helped count for me at American Open Series 2 in Daytona, Florida. And then he was like, "You know how to do this, right?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, kind of." And then he was like, "Let's do this together." I'm like, "Cool." So we learned from each other. And my first national experience in a back room was counting for Dan in Detroit, Michigan in July of 2021. And it was all uphill from there.
Was that like how the conversation was like starting the barbell club, like the same as you like counting for him there? Like, hey, you know how to do this? Like, let's do this together. Or how did that come about?
Yeah, so it actually was like an accident that Dan ended up counting for me in Daytona, because my coach at the time, Ryan, ended up double scheduling himself, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, I have someone over on 2 platforms over that I have to count for," and Dan was there. He's like, "Dan, you got this, right?" And Dan was like, "What am I agreeing to?" And then we were just kind of like there, right?
We're
Okay. And so after that, we were both kind of training separately, and not soon after that kind of COVID happened. So gym shut down, whatever. And Dan was like, "You're training weightlifting, I'm training weightlifting. Do you want to train weightlifting together?" And I was like, "Yeah." And that was kind of how it started. And he, you know, with my background in physical therapy and strength and conditioning, and then Dan has a master's in kinesiology. He has knowledge in exercise physiology. We're both big nerds. So a lot of, you know, talk on programming, understanding weightlifting, we just kind of evolved into programming, training, barbell club.
yeah, love that. We love intelligent and nerd people in weightlifting. Helps people to stay in it, right? I see a lot of people just get into it because they think it's cool. And I mean, sorry to say, but they get other lifters hurt, they get themselves hurt, and they end up falling out
It's
of it.
not, yeah, I mean, it happens, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Um, I think people don't understand how important the concepts of progressive overload, recovery, understanding microcycles and mesocycles and big picture and looking at like an entire year of competition and programming. Like it's not something that happened right away for me, but you know, like understanding the depth and breadth and the importance of variety with a goal in mind helps keep people healthy.
Yeah. So we were talking about this a little bit at the beginning. Are you competing this weekend, you and your team?
Yes. So we have grown to a point that the barbell club has to do like 2 weekends. We have like an athlete competition weekend
Mm,
and then a coaching competition weekend. So our athlete
ni-
competition weekend was last weekend.
nice.
Everybody showed out. We had almost all 6 for 6 performances,
Wow.
PRs like crazy, qualifying for Texas. A lot of athletes did an amazing job. Everybody took the platform and showed out for Tri-State. And this weekend, all of our coaches, but Coach Dan, because he's going to be coaching us, are competing in freehold at marble strength. So we're super excited to take a platform and be able to hopefully do as well as our athletes did last weekend.
Hell yeah, dude. I don't think I'm competing again until August. We were thinking about Series 2 out in Texas, but I think I think it's held by Marble, the Asbury Park Summer Games. They're doing the
Yeah.
outside. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we want to do that. That'll give them a little bit more of that experience before
Cool.
we build up to next year. But
Yeah.
that's exciting. 2 weekends of competing. Are you guys hosting it at your gym too? Back-to-back weekends?
No, so we went to Intrepid, which is actually the first, that's like my home first spot. That's where I used to
Yeah.
train and coach back in the day. So Intrepid was last weekend, and then this weekend's at Marble Strength in Freehold.
Oh, that's why I even got onto that Marble Strike. Yeah, duh, of course.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Back-to-back weekends of competing, bro. That I would probably fall apart. Good thing you got the team behind you to support you, you know? That's
Yeah.
amazing. So I guess at the end of the conversation, I want to know, what are you hungry for now? Like what's like your big goal that you're really focusing on?
Yeah, so last year, I guess it's like a backtrack a little bit. Like 3 years ago, I was struggling in the sport of weightlifting because my why had changed, right?
Mm.
Like I was in the sport for almost 7 years, chasing down American Open finals, chasing qualification totals and falling short. And I was tired. I was tired. I was like, I'm working really hard and I'm not seeing the numbers. And, when I first got into the sport, it was like, I want to win a local meet. And then when that started to happen, I was like, I want to qualify for X. And then I want to qualify for Open, like American Open finals. Now, that was kind of the end of my thought, right? Like my trajectory was there. That was like a total that was a reach, but reasonable. And Dan and I sat down and I was like, I kind of hate this right now. And he was like, okay, well, let's have a serious conversation. He's like, what can you do differently in your life to get you to where we want to go? Because he's like, the work in the gym isn't the problem, right? You're doing the work. Like I wasn't skipping workouts. I was doing my accessories. I was, all the things that coaches tell you to do. And we had a really kind of knock down, drag out, like truthful conversation with each other and realized that my life wasn't supporting what I wanted. So it was like saying no to some of the social gatherings, like making sure that we're recovering, not just giving to everybody else, right? And so that transition and that change allowed me to kind of take it to that next level. And weightlifting gave me a gift, man. We qualified for American Open finals that next year.
Wow.
And last year was my first time that I qualified for senior nationals as well, which was wild. Like never, ever, ever thought that those big giant totals were something that I'd be looking at. And then, so I competed at nationals for the first time last year. It was amazing. I actually went 6 for 6 on the platform at senior
Wow.
nationals,
First
which
one
was
too.
wild.
Crazy.
Yeah. And so that was it for me. I was like, okay, we're in. Like, I want this again. And so we did that last month. I competed at Masters Nationals and qualified for Senior Nationals. And so what I'm working for now and what I'm hungry for is to earn more kilos on the national platform. Like I would like to be consistent enough and show that I can take PR attempts on a stage at Senior Nationals, be in the conversation, to be looking at an A session. The women that I'm surrounded by in the 77 kilo weight class are so strong. It's
That's
crazy.
the one right there.
My
Dude,
God, it's
the freaking
crazy.
list of athletes at freaking Series 1 and then at Masters, Worlds, and National in freaking
Dude.
December of last year. The list, the sessions that they had, ridiculous.
Crazy.
For the 77.
Like what I'm hungry for is to belong and know that I do belong there, right? Like earn those attempts to, have people know that it wasn't a mistake, right? That it wasn't just like a rookie good luck situation. It was like oh yeah, that chick, that Taylor Maginnis chick from New Jersey, like she's coming up and she's here and she's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And at my lovely 35-year-old elder self as a masters athlete, to earn the spot at senior nationals is like such a gift. And
Different.
so I'm hungry for more kilos in that arena. And I just that's for me as an athlete.
Yeah.
as a coach, just being able to support my athletes to bring some more athletes along with me to that national platform and really kind of push. Like that was one of the reasons why I wanted to get there, right? Is show them that like I've been on this journey and that I can support you and take you to that level if that's something that you want as an athlete. So it's kind of a dual hunger there.
Right. I love that, dude. Got goosebumps from that. Like, I was pushing for this for so hard. I made a change, accomplished my goal, and it just lit my fire more, you
That's it.
know?
Yeah, no
Because
doubt.
I know, I'm sure you do too, so many people that either get close or accomplish a goal and they're like, that's good enough, man. And
Yes,
there's very few things that I hate as much as that, as like, oh, that's enough kind of energy.
no doubt.
Like, no, bro, then you did it. It wasn't really real, like you were saying
Yes,
about you getting there. Like if you got somewhere and that was enough for you, then it wasn't really real. You
yes,
squeezed in,
no doubt, no
not even
doubt.
that you have to stay the top dog forever, but like if you accomplish something and you're like, oh, that was good enough.
Saying and doing are two totally different things, and I think that the driving force for me, and this is a huge plug for Dan, is like I've been alongside Dan Dodd's journey since 2019. I mean, this guy dragged me to Canada to go compete internationally, and I was the only chick counting. I was the only girl in the back room, woman, whatever I am. Like, I was the only female coach in the back room at an international friendly meet in Canada because Dan was like, "You're the one. You're going to come count for me. Come on, let's go." And I was like,
Ooh,
all right, let's do
trial
it.
by
And then,
fire.
and then after being at enough national events, like literally at nationals with Dan and my teammate Steve and my teammate Lisa and everyone saying like, when are you going to compete? When are you going to compete? Like everybody that's around me knew before me that I could do it. You
Yeah.
know, people saw me as a much higher level lifter than I was performing. And like, they all knew before I knew,
Yeah.
so
Ooh.
it was cool to like be surrounded by that greatness and be inspired by that push. Like Dan never stops pushing. And I just feel like I've kind of adopted a lot of that kind of behavior because of him. And it's helped me grow so much as an athlete because I'm kind of like, okay, hold on, I'm coming. I'm like running around. I'm like, I'm on my way. Like, come on, wait for me. Like, I'm on my way. I'm working on it. So again, that iron sharpens iron concept. Like when everybody around you is pushing to be better, it's just that much easier to be inspired and stay on your game.
Yeah, keep up or fall off.
That's it.
That kinda idea, and then the thing about that, the part B to that is that when you buy in, even if you're like, people will drag you along, you know? The other competitors, when they see you sharpen in the axe, they're not just gonna leave you when it's hard for you. There's
Mhm.
that honor amongst thieves kinda
Amen.
ideology, when you're actually in it. So if you push through to get to that, man, there's very few other feelings like that in the world
No doubt.
when you know that, like, these other people, even though I'm behind them, they will pull me along with them because they respect my effort.
Yeah, I definitely have to give a shout out, like some of my training partners last year pushing for nationals, Tanya LaBelle and Lisa Ho. When we were in the gym together, it was like magic. And when we weren't, we were texting each other to push each other. And now Lisa lives on the West Coast. Tanya's leaned into CrossFit. And two of my people that I'm constantly talking to, Taylor Harris, Rigsby down in North Carolina, like every week, we're like, what do you got? What do you got? Snatches,
Taylor
clean and
and
jerks. How
Taylor,
you
let's
feeling?
go.
Yeah, but she's Taylor, ER, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, with the
Taylor,
ER. Yeah,
OR.
yeah. You know what? Side note, when I was going to DMU to, like, talk about the connection issues, it did not like me typing in Taylor into my own inbox, apparently. I don't know if
You're
you've ever
kidding!
experienced that. I typed it and your name did not pop up. I
Wait,
had to
that's
type out
so
Coach
funny.
Taylor P. It did not like me typing in my name at all. In
It's
fact,
like, that's you.
Taylor Harris, who I've never DM'd before, but I follow, it populated her, even without me typing the E. I'm like, this is freaking ridiculous. It does not like
That's right.
my name. It does
Yeah,
not
that's
like
my
my name.
homie.
Right. It's just so crazy. But do I want to go to non-weightlifting related question first? I do. You're from New York. What kind of sports fan are you? Tell me your teams, your big
This is a
three, whatever they are. Tell me.
everyone hates me for this question.
I hope
So,
that I don't hate you.
no, no, no. Yeah, well, you will. You will. So, okay. So I don't okay, my brother-in-law, I'm sorry. I don't really care about basketball. I'm not a huge follower of basketball.
That
When
makes
I
me
played
happy.
with Tiara. So when I played with Tierra, I went to some of the games to watch Ray play, and that was about it. That's about as far down the basketball route I go.
Okay, time out,
Yes.
because you graduated from high school a year before me, so we are and I'm 34, I turned 35 this year, so we are
Okay.
the same age. Ray Allen's daughter, tell me where Ray Allen was playing when you watched him play.
Yes, so he was playing for the Heat.
My
Was
God!
Yeah, so it was like so my dad and I actually went and like sat almost on floor seats at the Barclays Center to watch Ray play. And we got there like during warm-ups, and
You
my
living
dad
my
and I are like,
dream.
we're acting a fool, right? Like in the stands, and we're like, right? And so Ray looks at us and he was like, yo, what's up? We were freaking out. And he's like, you should have told me you were gonna be here. I would have brought you in the locker room, blah, blah, blah. So wait, this is a great segue. So I told you my dad is like a crazy sports fan, right? So my dad actually gave Ray Allen this picture of himself signed by my dad. Ray, good luck this year, John Payne. And this was the season that Ray hit that 3 in the playoffs for the Heat to advance to the
Bro,
championship. Okay.
you're
And
living my
he
life, my dream.
brought this picture with him to every away game. This is my dad.
Oh my God.
This is John Payne. It says protect this house. It says
Oh
so it
my
says whose
God.
house is this on the front of the shirt, and on the back it says protect this house.
Tell me
This
that's your
is
volleyball high school game.
No, this is college. This is Division
Okay.
1, baby. We stepped it up for D1. That is my dad. This gentleman in the background is the head of compliance at Quinnipiac University. That is Bob Tipson losing his bananas. This is it. This is why we put on a show in our family, baby. That's it.
It would have been a little bit funnier if it was just high school, like competitive, but still less competitive. If he was losing it like that, that would have been hilarious. He
We did this
that?
in high school. Oh, yes.
Now that's amazing.
We did this with the entire high school. They all had hats on in the stands as well.
Oh my God.
That was it. That was my dad in a nutshell. But yes, so sports. I'm a Patriots fan.
So I have Eagles fan.
My husband's an Eagles fan. My husband's a
Okay.
Birds guy.
Shout out to
So
him.
yes, I'm a Patriots fan. I also am a Devils girl. I asked Martin Brodeur to marry me when I was 7 years old at like a season ticket holder skating event. And he was like, I don't think that I can do that, but I'll sign your jersey. And I was like, perfect. And then I also asked Scott Stevens and Ken Danico and Peter Sikora all. My mom was like, I don't know where this is coming from, but I got my jersey signed by all of them.
I'm so lost with everything that's happening right now. You're a Patriots fan, but then a New Jersey Devils fan?
Yes. So
What's your baseball team?
So I don't really care about baseball. My husband's a Phillies guy.
Okay.
So I went to my first professional baseball game in March of this year, and it was a Phillies game. And I said, I guess I'm officially a Phillies fan. So
Let's go.
there you go.
At least you didn't say like the Yankees. Patriots and the Devils. I don't have any beef with the Devils actually at all. But the Patriots, oh my God, that's just, especially being from New York.
Yeah. So like my friend and I in middle school, we each wanted to pick 3 college football players and 3 professional football players to put pictures of in our lockers in middle school. And my friend picked Tom Brady because she thought he was cute. And I was like, whatever. I picked Vince Young. He was playing for Texas at the time at quarterback.
Goat.
And I actually picked Ninkovich, who was playing for the Patriots at the time, Rob Ninkovich. And then they won a Super Bowl that year. And then we were locked in. And then we got to ride the wave of the dynasty together. So people think that I'm a front runner, but it really was just kind of like a mistake.
Yeah. Lucky
now
you.
we're locked in.
Lucky.
In New England also, like I had access to all the New York and all the New England sports networks. So it worked out nicely going to school in New England and being a Pats fan. So
Man, you probably share a little bit of similarity to our household because when Seahawks the Eagles play, it sucks. Seahawks win the Super Bowl, it's especially when the Eagles are bad, it sucked. And my girlfriend is rowdy. Like we didn't live together yet when the Seahawks played the Eagles like last year or 2 years ago. And it was, I think Jalen fumbled, got it back. And so she calls me. I'm like, just letting her grovel. No, it gets worse. I'm letting her grovel. I hang up the phone, go back to the game. Jalen throws an interception, and my phone lit up so fast. Her calling back, like she don't play any kind of games. Like my girlfriend does not play. Talks mad shit.
That is a riot. That is a riot.
And then of course they won the Super Bowl in one of our worst years too.
Of course.
Like
Of
I have the
course.
videos I have of posting her watching the game. She was just losing it, like having
Oh
so
my
much
gosh.
fun.
That's
But
definitely
yeah,
our household. Yeah, we are for sure. We are all in football. My husband's a football guy. He's coached football for 10 years. He played in college, so that is our we are a football household for sure.
hell yeah, dude. All right, I want to end on one last weightlifting question. What is your favorite lift? Snatch, clean, jerk? You can really throw anything weird if you want to. What's your favorite?
Okay, this is a great question. I answer it in 2 parts.
Let's go.
So, I like to train snatch because I feel that I need the most practice in that lift, and I think I've
Mm,
enjoyed, like, learning how to get better at it. My go-to, clean. Clean is my thing. That
let's
is
go.
just yeah, like, I've been saying that, like, I'd love to pull and get under a clean that's heavy enough for me to work hard. Like, I love the clean.
That's a great way to put it.
Me and the jerk are not on the best terms, but our relationship is improving, so I usually, like, let that go. But the
Ugh.
problem is, like, if you wanna win, you gotta be able to jerk, right? Champions make jerks.
Champions make jerks. Exactly what I was gonna say. Shout out to Cal Strength.
Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, that's it. Like, to practice snatch, but if there was a clean competition, I'm your girl.
I'm in it. I'm in it. Hell yeah. Okay. They lit me up a few months ago. I went viral for making fun of people that power clean more than they full clean. Please tell me that you full clean more than you power clean.
Yeah, why would you power clean more than you full clean? That makes no sense to
I
me.
mean, you know why, like, some people can and do, but, like, the context of my video was, like, people that like to power clean more than they like to full
Mm.
clean, right?
Yeah,
And I'm like,
no, I
"That's
mean
that's fine," but it just don't make any sense for you to power clean more than you full clean. Specifically, there was a guy that commented and said, like, he feels like he has more energy because he's not doing a squat. And my reply was, "Sir, where are you getting this magical energy from having to pull the bar higher?" Like, I don't know
yes.
if you think that through. You need to pull the bar higher in order to do a power clean.
No. No.
So,
That is craziness. Craziness. I am not in that camp. I am a girl that if I am failing a power clean, it's because it's a clean and I just could not put the brakes on. Like, I'm not somebody that's doing something crazy different about my power cleans. I've
right.
never been like that. So, but listen, I also didn't play football my whole life. Like, some people just have training age in the power clean and
Yeah.
they like it, like my husband. And he's really good at it, but don't get me wrong, like, I don't know. My brain mixes up on that. I don't yeah, no.
Definitely.
That
I'm
ain't
cool.
me. That ain't
Totally,
me.
totally. I understand what the guy was getting at. I've been buried by cleans before too, bro. Like, I get it. I have
Yeah, but my
died
god,
underneath a full clean.
it
But
takes a lot
yeah,
of
to
effort to get that thing up there, man. Like,
pull that shit up there that high? No. The
yeah,
last thing
I
that
don't
I'll
know.
say on that
I'm too tall for that.
word. The last thing that I'll say on that, my arms are ridiculously long. The last thing that I'll say on that power clean thing is I have made a lot of money in clients by just helping people learn the skill of receiving
Yes.
cleans low and meeting barbells places.
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
what I feel like usually is what's up. That, like, you don't
Yes.
even me. Well, I mean, my lifting changed when I learned how to, like, receive a barbell at a different place and intentionally stop a barbell somewhere. And
Yes.
that's what a power clean is. Like, we don't compete in the power clean, and that's why. Like, because
100%.
no one would ever be like, "Oh, look how low you squatted." Even in a CrossFit competition, right? Like,
Yes.
it's silly if someone puts in a squat clean or a power clean. Like,
Yes.
you're adding extra work to yourself. But yeah, like, learn that skill. That's really what I want to impart on someone.
Yes.
Learn how to receive a barbell at different locations. What you just said right there is what triggered that. Like, if you're clean, if you look at them as different movements, then you're messing up. And your lifts
Correct.
are not where they need to be. If you're looking at them at different
Absolutely.
places, one of the things that I see online the most is people do the starfish. And I don't really
Mhm.
care about that. It's just that you can't squat there, so that's why it's bad.
Yes.
You can't squat with your feet in
Absolutely.
that position. Easy
Yes.
thing to go over.
Absolutely. Yeah, and, force production, force absorption, right, at different ranges of motion helps you stay healthy.
Right. And what you just said is what weightlifting is.
That's it.
That's all those things, force production and then being able to stop and beat a barbell,
That's
absorb that
it.
force. That's exactly what
Mhm.
weightlifting is.
You
So
got it.
at the end here, people learn that. If you don't know how to do that, receive your barbell at different places. Even like
100%.
I put people on blocks where it's like, hey, catch the barbell here, here, and here. You
Great.
know, that's what I
Yeah.
want your warm up to be. That's what I want you to get at.
Yeah, for sure.
Love a little weightlifting deep dive at the very end there. But Taylor, name twin, this has been a great episode. Thanks for coming on. Do you have any things you want to plug at the end? Any other shout outs you want to give? This is your time.
Yeah, I mean, I just thank you so much for asking me to come hang out with you, talk about life, talk about weightlifting.
Hell yeah.
If anybody has questions about anything, right? I'm a PT, I'm a lifter, I'm a girl, I'm an athlete.
I'm a woman. I'm a lover.
You know, like, let's get real. Like, being an athlete in this sport, being a high level coach, and being a woman is not as common. Like, as much as we want to say, like, our athlete population in weightlifting is actually majority women, but our coaching population is not, right?
Yeah.
So, there's actually a crazy stat that at an elite level, at a high level, which they consider national and international level, there is less than 10% of the coaches that are female. So,
Crazy.
if anybody that's listening has questions about coaching, life, being an athlete, being a woman, especially in this space, right? Because being in the strength space, sometimes it's hard to be heard. And if anybody has questions about anything, or if they need help with lifting, life, physical therapy questions, injuries, I'm here.
Love it. You heard that out there here, dogs. We're getting out of here. Peace.